Hey folks, welcome back to SC Haulers. I am Sacks of Wine, and in the last video we discovered that the raft can now be attached to cargo grids, and I wanted to provide some context in regards to why I was so surprised by the Atlas being able to attach to cargo grids. And so we're going to get some context on that, and then today we're going to take a thorough and hands-on approach testing the Atlas across a couple of different ships, exterior and interior cargo grids, to find out exactly what's supposed to happen and what isn't, or I guess what is allowed to happen currently and what isn't. So let's break it all down and get into this haul. Okay, so here's why I was surprised by the Atlas being attached to the raft. So one, as you can see in this footage right here, this has been here for a little while. I want to say at least 4.1, maybe 4.0, but at least 4.1. You can throw stuff into the cargo elevator and send it down without attaching it to the cargo grid. And so just whenever I would pick up the Atlas with the max lift, for whatever reason, whether it was stuck in the floor or what I know now was it's stuck to the cargo grid, I just assumed that it was using that same mechanic where they're just allowing it to go down the cargo grid. Like they turned on a 1 value and was like, okay, cool, you can send it down the freight elevator now. And I also assumed that when it came back up, it wasn't attaching to the cargo grid. It was just spawning much like the hangar pads do, where your pad spawns at the bottom of the hangar, and then the ship spawns a little bit above the pad and then bounces down to actually attach to the pad. So that was my thought process. So once it attached to the cargo grid, it was very surprising to me because that is not how it worked for me at all. And I say that's not how it worked for me. I mean, it did not work for me like mentally. It did. That is not how I process that working. So there you go. That's why I was surprised by it. For all you pseudo game devs that are out there in the comments, like, yeah, well, duh. That was my thought process. Not to mention the fact that not a single other person has mentioned that you can attach the Atlas to the cargo grid now. So, yeah, moving on. So as you saw in the previous footage, we are starting with the hull A. The context behind this is I spawned my character at Orison for some reason. I don't have a hull A or hull C pledged, so I went to Lorville. I bought the hull A and the hull C, and I attached the hull A, or excuse me, I attached the Geo to the hull A from Lorville and came up to Everest Harbor so I can get this cargo. So what I was attempting to do just there is try to get into the Geo from the ground level. If you remember the last video, I tried to get into the Geo from the raft. And the only real difference that I can see here is that on the raft, I was actually on the cargo grid, like walking on the cargo grid, same level. So I'm curious if you can be in a different level or if there's just no collision while it's on the hull A, hull C. So that being said, I wanted to show you all how much space the Atlas actually takes up. And it's the same for the regular Atlas and the Geo. It takes up the same amount of space. So we have a 16 SCU container on the top side of the hull A here. And I'm going to attempt to stick this 8 SCU on the side. And you can see it's not snapping to the cargo grid. I thought maybe that the backpack on the Geo was causing the issue. So we're going to throw a 4 SU container up there and see what's going on with that. And that is not snapping either. Okay, so I'm going to go buy a 2 SU container because I did not do that yet. And we will be back. Okay, so we got our 2 SU container. And I got 2 to see if I could stack them or if the backpack has a higher grid occupancy. Okay, so we can snap the 2 SU containers on the end there. Can we double stack them? Yes, we can. So as you can see, this cargo grid is 2x8 SCU length and width. And the Atlas appears to be taking up 6 of those width-wise. And for your height, it looks like it's also taking, what, an 8 SCU container, maybe a little bit bigger. But you're not going to be able to stack anything on top of it anyways, so it won't matter. Next up, we have the hull C, which, if the hull A is of any surprise, then I'm expecting the hull C to also be able to hold the Atlas. With such a big area on the spindles, what I'm hoping for is that it'll be way easier to actually pull the Atlas off the grid. One thing I learned from this, the engine is much heavier than the cockpit. Alright, let's attach an Atlas to this cargo grid. So I'm hoping, since this is lower to the ground, that that is not the direction I wanted it. But this should be easier to get into. If I can get this rotated the right way, like I want this seat to be facing downward. Oh, there we go. And once again, I'm not getting any interaction with the Geo, or excuse me, with the Atlas. Been easy to get this off so far, which is awesome. But I say that and watch, we're gonna have a terrible time. You see, even right here, you can't, there's no interaction with the seat. So I'm wondering if maybe you do have to be on the same surface as the Atlas. I'm gonna have to go to like a hanger pad or something and try that. Why was that so difficult? Is there something about the edge that is harder to get this off? Because that was instant. That attached instantly. And a snapback. Yeah, I don't think this is going to work. We're going to have to go to a hangar pad outside Everest and see if we can get on the same surface and then hop into the Geo from there. Okay, so we got the Starlancer TAC now, and I want to see how the Atlas interacts with the internal cargo grid. And I know you can just walk the Atlas onto the ship. It doesn't have to attach to the cargo grid. One thing I want to point out is in CIG, I don't know if you see this or not, but the inside of the ship, I don't know if this is just a Starlancer TAC thing, but it looks dead on the inside. Like it's soft death, or excuse me, hard death. But as soon as you walk through a certain point, like that goes invisible, you walk through a certain point and then my Geo's gone. Did that go into the engineering area? It must have. I don't see it on the roof. And there she is. Look at that. Well, if you ever need an Atlas in your engineering area on the Starlancer TAC, now you know. I guess the Starlancer Max too, huh? Can I move this around at all? Can't even move it. Is there a way for me to clip this through the ship? Up or down? Oh, there we go. Now we're just gonna have to get it off the roof. So before we go get the Geo off the roof of the TAC, we're gonna try out the Atlas, and we're gonna walk it in this time. As cool as it is that this thing moves around more, like it's got more animation and the cool sounds that it has, like that is super loud. And I know it's meant to be. Is that the Geo? Oh yeah, it was clipping through the top of the ship. Alright. So first thing, and this is just to verify, like if you leave it on the cargo grid, it is not going to attach to the cargo grid. You need to do that with a tractor beam. And you can tell that it's not attached to the cargo grid because I can just walk right off the cargo grid. Yeah, so I don't have any animation bugs or anything. Perfectly fine. So we are going to attach it now. You hear the Geo up there walking around. Okay, and it's attached now. And same thing, so now I can't move, it just hovers the Atlas in the air. And so now it's officially attached to the cargo grid. Now, if we want to, and it's gone. Okay, so if you want to get the Atlas off the cargo grid, you can't lift it up at all in the TAC. You're gonna have to double click it and just detach it, or click on it and right click and detach it, whatever your preference is for detaching quickly. You're gonna have to do that on smaller cargo grids, otherwise it's gonna clip right through the roof, such as this. And the Geo can't decide what it wants to do, and I can't get this to clip through the roof. Oh, is it gonna go? Alright, let's at least go get the Geo out of the roof. Okay, and so what I need to do here is roll fast enough that the Geo will clip through the roof, and then gravity will take control and just pop them right out. Which it looks like it just popped them right back into the engineering deck. We're gonna go see if we can get the regular Atlas out, the Atlas Cargo. And they're both inside. Fantastic. Yeah, baby, wow. Look at it. Yeah, it's a kitty. Meowie. Is it cute? Yeah, it's pink. Yeah, in black. Did sister make this? Uh-huh.
Done.
Oh.
Here,
Let me hold on to this so you don't break it. No, not trash. Mm-hmm. Okay, oh, it's on the floor. Perfect. Where's the... Is that the Geo or the Atlas? Oh, the Atlas is in the ship still. There we go. We got it. Well, that's going to be it for the video today. And what I've determined so far is you can definitely connect the Atlas to exterior cargos. That's the RAFT, the hull A, and the hull C. I was kind of surprised by the hull A because I never really flew it that much because I've always done larger cargo loads. And so I thought the hull A could have 4 8 SCU containers. I was very surprised when I found out today that it holds 16 SCU containers, but I digress. I feel like personally the only situation you would use like the Atlas on a cargo grid is for exterior cargo ships like this, but the RAFT is the only one I would personally use it for because it's the only one that holds enough cargo to make it worth it. And until they get exterior space station freight elevators working, the hull C doesn't even freaking need it. And you could even argue that the hull C doesn't need it, period, because it's got 4 tractor beams on it. And for your interior cargo that is limited on space, mostly ceiling space, I would just not even bother attaching it to the cargo grid. You're going to have that, as you saw, the Atlas just clip through the roof. If you're in a C2 or maybe even the Constellation series, you might be okay, but we'll see what happens. I would just personally walk the Atlas onto the cargo area. But all that being said, I am Sacks of Wine. This is SC Haulers, and we'll see you at the next haul.